is 9 p.m. on the dot. I believe a few seconds to 9 p.m. It's 8:59 here. Listen, thank you so much for making time for the program tonight. This is Lookup News, the top stories tonight. Tonight on Lookup News.
We are even wondering, could it be a structural design? Kuna shida, because every day unasikia kutokea tu kwa hiyo mlima ya Karai kwenda towards Nakuru.
Shedding tears of pain, parents whose kids were killed in the Naivasha-Nakuru road accident moving to identify bodies of their children. Also tonight,
it is time to silence the guns in our region and continent.
It's time to silence the guns. Ruto now tells Sudan as close to 200 people perish in the war that has entered day 5.
I don't know how many of you are willing to take the bullet for your boss. Mine, I do. That is why even these Azimio characters are threatening to report me at The Hague. I don't know how defending your boss can be a crime against humanity. I think these Azimio characters have lost their head.
My actions do not warrant ICC attention. DP Gachagua now tells opposition. All right, now we do welcome you to be part of the program tonight by engaging us on our socials at Amwai Brian on Twitter, at Lookuptv. The hashtag we're using tonight is Lookup News. We are also live on Facebook and on YouTube. Be sure to send your feedback on those particular platforms, and I'll be able to sample some of your feedback as we continue with the program tonight. Our sign language interpreter is Josephine Ouko. Now, the painful exercise of parents of identifying the victims of the Naivasha-Hora road accident started today, with the devastated parents breaking down as the painful reality hit that their offsprings were no more. Innocent Ogaro with more.
Tears of pain and sorrow on the faces of parents. The reality of losing a child hits hard as they are forced to identify the bodies of their offsprings. It was an accident that took from them a piece they will never recover. Students who had left school to go back on holiday died miles away from home, only to return in a coffin. The Naivasha-Hora accident at Delamere took away 5 young lives of students from Mbihi Friends School. Patrick Odero, one of the parents who lost their daughter Blessings Odero, says he was forced to travel all night to Naivasha as they were expecting to receive their daughter before receiving the sad news.
Kuhusu hali ya mtoto wangu na Lindsay, akaniambia ajui, ameambiwa tu kuna wale wamekufa na kuna wale hawajakufa. Sasa nilipanga safari ya kutoka Nairobi kuja kwa hospitali hapa kuconfirm. Na tulipofika pale hospitalini, tuliuliza daktari habari ya mtoto wetu Lindsay Blessing, akatuambia kwamba yeye hakumeki.
Another parent, Bernard Muluku, said that he found about the accident through the phone before traveling to Naivasha, where he confirmed the death of his daughter.
Kwa hiyo harakati nikiwa kwa gari nimejaribu kupigia deputy. Namuuliza, msichana wangu nasikia amepata accident, kunaendaje? Yeye pia nielezei. Unaona? Sasa mimi nashindwa kunaenda aje hapa. Kwa mati hivi hata sijafika mali naishi nasikia simu, kuna gari ya mbele imehusika kwa accident.
The principal of the school, Jael Wasamuka, says that the survivors of the accident complained that the driver was driving fast and passing a fleet of vehicles on high speed.
Yes, can be waived so that hizi mwili ziweze kuondolewa hapa leo na zipelekwe za kwenda Nairobi ziende na za kusafiri Vihiga ziende.
Speaking at Naivasha Hospital, Vihiga Member of Parliament Ernest Kivai called the accident a huge blow to the family, added that the 3 injured students have been transferred to Kenyatta National Hospital.
In the last 3-4 months, the number of accidents which have been documented here are very many, and it's a worrying trend. So yes, we take it seriously and we'll be following up. Watatu wamekuwa transferred to Kenyatta National Hospital Nairobi. Tukitoka hapa tutaenda kuwatembelea tujue hali yao. Na wanne walibaki hapa. na vile tumeongea na some of them, wale wamebaki hapa they are not out of danger.
Women representative of Vihiga, Beatrice Adagala, challenged the traffic police to increase the search against speeding drivers and unroadworthy vehicles.
Tafadhali, hasa wakati mmebeba watoto, muwe na utu. Kwa sababu tumeongea na watoto, wanasema kwamba gari lilikuwa linaenda kwa kasi sana, linatoka kwa barabara. Tunaomba tu kuwe na uangalifu kwa barabara, hasa wakati ambapo umebeba watoto. Kupoteza watoto katika umri huu ambao ndio tegemeo letu la kesho ni uchungu, ni pigo kwa shule na ni pigo kwa community ya Mbihi.
Innocent Ogaro, Lookuptv.
Murkomen has issued new measures aimed at curbing increased cases of road traffic accidents in the country. Now, the measures come following rising cases of road accidents in the country, with school-going children accounting for part of the fatalities recorded. April 19th, CS Kipchumba Murkomen has moved in with new measures to curb road carnage in the country following a rise in accidents. Murkomen pronouncements comes in the wake of increased road accidents on Kenyan roads, with hundreds of Kenyans dead, including students. The CS has directed that school transportation will not be allowed to operate between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. This is effective immediately in compliance with the Traffic Amendment Act of 2017. All school children must be allocated seats with functional seatbelts, which must be worn at all times during transportation. Unroadworthy school vans, buses and matatus must be removed from the roads with immediate effect. Another direction is that heavy commercial vehicles with a tare weight of 49 kgs and above must be fitted with speed limiters in compliance with the intelligent road safety management systems, effective immediately. A multi-agency team will be formed to verify and validate all speed limiters from April 25th, 2023 to May 31st, 2023 to ensure that all public service vehicles operate with functional speed limiters. Public transport operators, speed limiter vendors and the National Police Service will be incorporated into the exercise. Aside from directing an audit of all school transport infrastructure, the CS also wants the Kenya National Highway Authority, Kenya Urban Roads Authority and the National Transport and Safety Authority to mark black spot areas on the roads. The CS has further directed road agencies to ensure cameras are installed at all black spots at the first phase completed within 4 months. His directive comes hours after 6 Mbihi girls school students died after a car they were traveling in lost control following an unsuccessful overtaking attempt. The accident happened on the Nairobi-Nakuru highway. Senators on Wednesday called for strict enforcement of traffic regulations amid the increasing cases of road accidents in the country. In the past 3 days, 22 people have been killed in road accidents across the country, and it is this worrying trend that has fueled the senators' latest push for action.
To die because of crossing a road, when roads are designed and constructed by professionals, beats logic. Mr. Speaker, I therefore want to support the petition.
Mr. Speaker, alarmingly, the Traffic Department has continued to receive tips and bribes on the roads, Mr. Speaker, even when offenders are blatantly breaching the traffic rules, Mr. Speaker. It is shocking, Mr. Speaker, that
government gave the country an assurance, Mr. Speaker, that by use of technology which is easily available in the country, if you go through all our highways, Mombasa Road, the road going to the western part of the country, Thika Road, as well as all these major places where there are accidents, Mr. Speaker, is that there are cameras already available, which police most of the time use. But unfortunately, we have never been able to use the said cameras to deter bad driving.
Last Saturday, 13 mourners also died after the bus they were traveling in lost control on the Wundanyi Mwatate Road in Taita Taveta County. According to NTSA, Kenya recorded 1,072 deaths from road accidents between January and March 2023. Motorcycles and private vehicles contributed the highest number of fatalities between January and March this year at 284 and 272 deaths respectively. As well, in the northern country of the East African region enters day 4, Kenya's head of state, President William Ruto, has called the two warring factions in Sudan to silence the guns so that the region can focus on development. The president noted that the war in Sudan has led to loss of lives and destruction of property, forcing civilians to be displaced. Ruto said the diplomatic community was concerned of how a small issue escalated so fast into a civil war.
In urging this course of action, Kenya notes that disregard for the resolutions, coupled with the evidence of lack of commitment to ending the conflict, strongly indicates that attacks on diplomatic installations and personnel, as well as targeting of hospitals, hotels, and other vital public and social spaces, are deliberate, systematic, and tantamount to atrocities against humanity. There is real danger that the escalation of hostilities in Sudan could implicate external, regional, and international actors and degenerate into a security and humanitarian crisis on a disastrous scale. It is therefore critical for an international coalition of all the actors that have been involved in supporting the restoration of civilian rule in Sudan to act with urgency. The United Nations, Africa Union, IGAD, and all the other stakeholders for the Sudan must lead a process that extends beyond mere cessation of hostilities towards the restoration of sustainable peace, security, and stability. It is time to silence the guns in our region and continent so that we can focus on the urgent work of enabling our people to pursue opportunities and actualize their aspirations in peace and tranquility.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has laughed off threats by the opposition coalition that they will sue him at the International Criminal Court over his conduct in the now called-off demonstrations. Gachagua has termed such threats as baseless and misconceived, saying his actions do not in any way constitute crimes against humanity, insisting he only religiously defended his boss, President William Ruto, against unwarranted attacks from Azimio and as reporter Henry Tende now files. Gachagua has cautioned the opposition against misusing the ICC court to pursue what he terms as selfish interests.
Just days after the opposition coalition Azimio wrote to the International Criminal Court at The Hague over the conduct of the police in managing the now called-off demonstrations, Gachagua has come out guns blazing and told off Azimio over their threat to sue him at the Netherlands-based criminal court for alleged crimes against humanity.
These Azimio characters are threatening to deport me at The Hague. I don't know how defending your boss can be a crime against humanity. I think these Azimio characters have lost their head. Yeah? I think they have been in the streets for many years. They don't even think well.
The deputy president has termed such threats as baseless and a misuse of the ICC jurisdiction. This, even as he remains firm, he is not cowed.
How can defending your boss and his programs become a crime against humanity to be reported at The Hague? I think if they send a letter there, it will be returned to the center, because they don't seem to understand how the ICC works. But of course, it also says a lot of the frustration that they have. That now any problem they have with anybody, the solution is the ICC.
In the same breath, Gachagua has asked deputy governors to play a pivotal role in helping their governors to deliver on their mandate, urging them to build a working synergy with their bosses to enhance service delivery.
The area of your governor is your favor. Therefore, behoves you and your governor to work together collectively to succeed, because both of you have a 5-year social contract with the residents of your county.
With uncertainty hanging over the delayed salaries for civil servants, Gachagua now says salaries have been paid in full, blaming the unprecedented delay on bad-performing economy.
It is not sustainable and it is not prudent to borrow money from banks at 14% to pay salaries. We have agreed as a government that the only way to restore the economy of this country to where President Mwai Kibaki left us is to fund our budget through revenue collection.
Governors will, however, wait a little longer as government works at disbursing equitable revenue.
So we are collecting some more money, and shortly the governors will do another disbursement to enable our counties function. But let nobody push us to go and borrow money from banks at exorbitant rates to fund counties or to fund our current budget.
Affirming the government's resolve to bring down the cost of living, Deputy President says cheap flour has been supplied to major retail outlets across the country.
As we talk today, on the shelf, there are many supermarkets offering unga at 159 shillings, up to 155. Because of the intervention that we have done to assist our farmers with subsidized fertilizer, we intend and we believe we'll be able to bring down the cost of unga to about 130, about 120.
Henry Tende, Lookup TV.
That story by Henry Tende takes us to our first break here on Lookup News. Continue engaging us on our socials, that is at Lookup TV on Facebook, and we'll be able to sample your feedback as we continue with the program tonight. Tell us where you are watching us from and any feedback, or rather what you think about the stories that we are running today. All right, we take that short break. We'll be back in a few.
Are you looking for a renowned institution of academic and professional excellence to kickstart your career? Then join KIPS Technical College, a top NEC, CASNEB, NITA, HRMPEB and KISIM examination center in Kenya, fully accredited by TVET Authority. We offer high-quality hands-on training in engineering, hospitality, tourism, journalism, ICT, business, accounting, hairdressing and beauty, health sciences, community development and foreign languages, and have placed over 26,000 graduates in employment since 1994. Admissions for April intake is ongoing. Call 0720-813-113 or visit any of our 6 campuses located within Nairobi. KIPS Technical College, your sure path to success.
It's easier, it's bigger, it's better. It's Grand Mega Draw. Cheza na shilingi 50 hadi shilingi 2,000 na ushinde mega cash ya 200 million. Isitoshe, kuna mega bonus ya up to 20 million shillings kila Jumatano na Jumamosi. Sio ndoto, unangoja nini? Cheza Lotto, it could be you. Nenda kwa M-Pesa paybill number 777-000. Andika neno Look kama account number. Cheza na kati ya shilingi 50 hadi shilingi 2,000 na ushinde sasa. Round hii ni more draws, more cash and big wins na Lotto.
Over 18s only. Gaming can be addictive. Play responsibly. This message has been approved by the BCLB.
Hey darling, are we still on for a coffee date?
I'm waiting for you to come and pick me up.
I should be able to pick you in a few.
It's a coffee yogurt date?
It's not just a yogurt. It's royal coffee yogurt.
Flow with the sweet taste of thick and smooth Royal Fresh coffee yogurt. Royal Fresh, the royal taste of freshness.
We as Novena United Circle are a society that is able to provide a platform for business startups by providing financial aid to members and creating a platform to accumulate their savings. We look for small business entrepreneurs who are starting a business venture and provide the best opportunity to expand our business niche and turn it into something big. For more information, call us on 0768 757 956 or WhatsApp us on 0734 832 430. Novena United Circle. Tuungane pamoja.
Thank you for staying with us here on Lookup News. Let's continue with the program tonight. Now, the Parliamentary Joint Committee has continued its investigations into the 6 billion Kenya shillings paid by the former administration to buy telecom company shares. And as Shada Karira now reports, the committee interrogated the management of Anjara Wala law firm and other companies. The committee was interested to know how the former regime entered into a deal days to the last year's general elections.
For the fourth time, the National Assembly Joint Committee continued to dig deeper into telecom companies' share worth 6 billion Kenyan shillings, alleged to have been sold to the government by the previous administration.
I meet the former cabinet secretary, Mr. Ukuriata, about this transaction. And did you act for telecom, or did you just act on behalf of Jamhuri? Is that we have represented Helios for some 15 years. Jamhuri as an entity was, if I recall correctly, formed specifically for this transaction.
Appearing before the committee, Anjawala and Kana Advocate, a company that is linked to the scandal, defended itself, telling the committee that the transaction followed all the legal procedures.
There's a confirmation from Jamhuri and from the government of Kenya that each of them was independently legally advised.
The committee was keen to understand how possible was the deal signed with only few days to the August 2022 general election.
6 billion is not 2 shillings. The government has paid somebody they have never seen. You claim you have seen him. You claim you cannot take the documents to him.
This transaction, especially once we signed the deed of variation, was going to be completed, I believe, after the election and before the result, broadly speaking. Am I right? 12th of August? Around the second week of August was the timing. Of course I was aware of that. We're all Kenyans. Right? But what I'm trying to say is like asking my parents, why was I born on the 6th of April?
The other company that was investigated was the Adili company, which told the committee that its businesses with Jamhuri Holding Company, a company that owns telecom company, was transparent.
So on the question, and then I think the question has been raised by many members, several members, why government did not participate in the MIP or in the decision making around creating the shares. I would say that we were not involved in those negotiations.
John Ngumi, the advisor for Jamhuri Holding Company, was also required by the committee to explain the entire process that led to the payment of 6 billion Kenyan shillings to the company by the previous regime.
I was paid that money because I am the best in the business. I was paid that money because I had already helped. I had already helped Helios revive a company that had been on its deathbed called Iwananchi.
This comes as the telecom company is at the risk of losing its operation license next year due to the high unpaid debt. This is according to the Communication Authority of Kenya. Shedra Kareria, Lookup TV.
Now, a family in Malava, Kakamega County, is seeking justice after their kin, who is a police officer, allegedly shot himself in Siaya County. Now, the deceased, Maurice Chilison Chitavi, is said to have shot himself, claims that the family is dismissing.
The family of Maurice Chitavi from Malava in Kakamega County is seeking justice after their kin is alleged to have died by suicide. The deceased, who was a police officer, is reported to have shot himself. However, the family is dismissing the report, saying Chitavi was not depressed.
Wanasema kwamba yeye alikuwa amebaki station peke yake na alikuwa amepewa bunduki. Na hakuna ofisa wa polisi yoyote ambaye alikuja akatambua kwamba Maurice amejipiga risasi. Ile ambayo tunasikia ni kwamba msichana wa KMTC alikuja pale akidai kwamba simu yake imepotea.
The family, led by Charles Mavonga, now wants an inquiry into the mysterious death with the police department to be investigated, claiming the information they are giving is inconsistent. According to information quoted in a local daily on the 17th of this month, Chitavi shot himself following the news of his daughter, who is a student at Mokumu Girls, falling sick.
Ningechukua fursa hii as the brother kukanusha yale madai ambayo yanakuja kwa media kwamba alijiua kwa sababu ya yule msukosuko huko Mkumu Girls. Mtoto wake alikuwa hospitali, kisha baadaye akawa na sumu na akawa na stress kwamba alijiua.
Dhani kama hiyo ni sababu, kwa sababu huyo mtoto alikuwa mgonjwa ndio, lakini kwa saa hii alikuwa ameanza ku improve.
I would like to know how the death of Murisoka. That is what I can say.
The widow, Elsie Olum, is now asking for a thorough investigation to be conducted in relation to her husband's death. Olum wants to be given answers as to why the body of his husband was removed from the scene of the tragedy without his next of kin or family member around. David Alex, Lookup TV.
Now, 15 families have been rendered homeless in Nakuru after unknown people raided their estate with claims of being sent by Kenya Railways Corporation. And as our reporter Abigail Shira reports, the residents were not issued any notice of eviction.
It is a situation that has left many questions in the minds of residents of an estate belonging to Kenya Railways Corporation. 15 families are left wondering where to turn to as their lawyer narrates the turn of events.
Up today we've been ambushed. I was called at 5 a.m. by Suleiman and Chairman Birundu and told that this place has been invaded by goons, as they described them, because they never had any court order seeking their eviction. Neither did they have any notice to inform them of the timelines or any proceedings subsequent to the ones we've had in court to get them out.
The Kenya Railways Corporation has refused to address the residents on this matter, leaving them in a state of confusion.
Railway wao walipigia hapo mkubwa yao anasema sijui hata maneno. Hakuna kitu sisi anajua labda minimizi.
These units have smaller units inside them because they're occupying almost half an acre. What happens to these families? What happens to their children? These are young children, you can see them all over.
The efforts to reach the leaders of the corporation are fruitless. This has been an ongoing case in the corridors of justice. It is a matter that the residents wish could be addressed in a lasting solution offered, as they are now left without an idea of where to pick from.
Kwa hivyo tunaomba watu walinde mali zao kwa sasa, tukifuata njia ya kisheria kuona kuwa tumetatua shida hii. Kwa sababu sidhani kama ni block pekee ndio itakuwa na shida kama hizi. They could extend to other blocks, and the problem is who else is next? Which other government property or railways property?
For Lookup TV, I'm Abigail Shira.
All right, thank you, Abigail Shira, for that. Now, Patrick Neil Wigan has been appointed the new British High Commissioner to Kenya. Wigan, formerly the UK ambassador to Israel, replaces Jen Marriott effective July 2023. Now, acknowledging his new assignment, Wigan tweeted on the outgoing, appreciating that he will be doing a great job or rather looking forward to doing a great job here in Kenya. Now, Jen Marriott, the High Commissioner to Kenya, Jen Marriott, congratulated Wigan, appealing to the Kenyan citizenry to offer her successor their utmost support. She said, and I quote, "After 4 amazing years, my time in Kenya is up in June. I will miss Kenya and Kenyans enormously. Do make sure to follow my successor, Neil Wigan, and look out for more soon on what we achieve together." Marriott, who will be transferring to another diplomatic service in July, has been the UK ambassador to Kenya since September 2019. Now, Smart's Foundation has developed an alternative method of agriculture which the youth and pupils trained at Lookuptv Primary School in Samburu County can use to alleviate food security. And as Audrey Cherotich now explains in this mini-feature story, knowledge in agriculture will help the school get food and money from products sold.
Welcome to Lookuptv, Samburu County. It is in Lookuptv Primary School where the pilot project is situated. On your arrival here, the picture is quite different from the usual dead cows and arid lands. This area has now been turned into a flourishing farming zone. The Chief Executive Officer of Smarch Foundation says the project aims to encourage the youth to engage in agriculture to boost food security both at home and in school.
The drip irrigation system as a modern farming technology to show on how we can save water and how we can do farming.
It is a huge relief now for these residents after the Smarch Foundation started the Lodokojek project, being the first experimental project which introduced a drip irrigation system, which is a modern agricultural technology in arid areas that will ensure safe water for use. This project was initiated by Charlene Ruto to motivate the youth to engage in agriculture as one way to earn money and even livelihood.
The Smarch Foundation, today we are here to do a training for the youth group and the 4K club, and which our patron, Ms. Charlene Ruto, is very proud to do, to champion for youth to join farming and for youths to do business in the sector of agriculture.
Through 4K clubs in schools, students and young people will distribute services at the community level, where the community will gain skills and knowledge and focus more on women who are breastfeeding and are mostly affected by food shortages. Samuel Lalaikpiani is the principal at Lodokojek Primary School, and he is very happy for the huge changes that have been brought about by the foundation.
This has just come to us on a dire need. The school have been undergoing challenges in acquiring vegetables for our students who are boarders. Na sasa tunaona tumepata matumaini.
Lentuta village administrator Robin Lodokokek has a bountiful heart of gratitude for what the Smarch company has done in the area, saying that this is only the beginning of more great works ahead.
Nifahamu hapa na hapa Samburu tuko na waba wa chakula kama in terms of food security, na tumeona kwamba hii shamba leo ambayo Industrial Farm inawezekana na kitu kama community we can embrace outside there, because hii sasa imetengewa kwa sababu ya learning institution kama shule, na inakuwa kitu bora sana kama sisi wakaaji wa within ama within the Lodokojek area tuweze kulearn na tuweze kujua yale ambaye tunasafanya, because kawaida sisi tunategemea mambo ya pastoralist most of the time, tunategemea mambo ya mifugo na najua because of the climate.
Audrey Cherotich, Lookup.
Now, the Football Kenya Federation has taken stern actions on AFC Leopards after the club